We'll be starting with the topic neuromuscular junction, where we'll be exploring its key concepts, and stay attentive and feel free to ask questions in the comment section. Okay, so starting with its definition, it is a specialized synapse between a motor neuron and a skeletal muscle fiber. As you can see in the diagram, the yellow colored motor neuron and the skeletal muscle. So basically it's trying to explain you that it is the junction between the two structures, and through this junction the nerve impulse are transmitted, leading to initiation of muscle contraction. Okay, moving forward, we'll be seeing the components of neuromuscular junction. It has three components, namely presynaptic terminal or nerve ending, synaptic cleft, and lastly postsynaptic membrane or motor end plate. Now we'll be discussing each of them separately. So firstly, we have the presynaptic terminal. It is said to be the terminal part of the motor neuron, basically the synaptic knob region. Okay, so it is the terminal part of the alpha motor neuron. It contains synaptic vesicles which are filled with acetylcholine, and this acetylcholine, it actually acts as a neurotransmitter in neuromuscular junction. Next, we have the mitochondria. It has numerous mitochondria for ATP production, the presynaptic terminal. It also has these voltage gated calcium channels present on its membrane. We'll see in the diagram further. Next, we have synaptic cleft. It is a very narrow space of only about 20 to 50 nanometer. It is filled with basal lamina and most importantly the enzyme acetylcholine esterase. This acetylcholine esterase enzyme, it inhibits the function of acetylcholine, which we'll be discussing in the later session. Lastly, we have the postsynaptic membrane. It has the junctional folds to increase the surface area of the muscle fiber. It contains nicotinic acetylcholine receptors to which the acetylcholine binds to. They also have the voltage gated sodium channels, which actually is not mentioned here, but I'll show you in the diagram later. Okay. Now, you can see in the diagram all three components which I taught you: the presynaptic terminal, the synaptic cleft, and the postsynaptic membrane. The presynaptic terminal, they have these synaptic vesicles containing acetylcholine, they have these mitochondria, and also these calcium channels. Okay. Next, we have synaptic cleft, these narrow space you can see over here between the two terminals. Lastly, we have the postsynaptic terminal or the membrane. We have junctional folds in it, and also the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors and sodium channels. Now, let's talk about steps in neuromuscular junction. Step 1 is the arrival of nerve impulse. In this step, the action potential reaches the nerve terminal. Okay, see here in the diagram, this downward arrow, it indicates the arrival of the nerve impulse. Okay. So step 2 is calcium influx. The voltage gated calcium channels on the presynaptic terminal, they opens up, leading to the influx of calcium ions. Okay, let's see this also. You can see over here this calcium entry voltage gated channels, you can see. The third step, we have release of neurotransmitters. Due to the influx of calcium ions, the synaptic vesicles tends to fuse with the presynaptic membrane, leading to the release of acetylcholine via exocytosis. Okay, third step over here, it is very evident and clear, this acetylcholine release. Okay, and in the next step they will bind. So let's see first of all this step. Okay, next step, we have the binding to receptors. The released acetylcholine will bind to nicotinic receptors on the motor end plate. Okay, as I have shown you over here in the diagram, they will bind. These are the receptors, these red ones, these are nicotinic receptors, and to these nicotinic receptors only the acetylcholine will bind to. Moving forward to the next step is the end plate potential. Okay, in this step, sodium ions enters via voltage gated sodium channels and will cause the depolarization effect. Now, the potential generated due to depolarization will be considered as the end plate potential. Okay, you can see over here in the diagram the sodium entry. Can you see over here the sodium entry? So sodium will enter and it will create a depolarization effect, which will be termed as the end plate potential. Okay. Next we have muscle action potential. So if the threshold will reach, it will lead to the spread of the action potential along the whole sarcomere. Okay. And which will further lead to the excitation contraction coupling, resulting in contraction. This excitation contraction coupling I'll be explaining you in the next video. You can see over here in the diagram, this muscle action potential is being generated and the muscle will contract. Okay. Now, lastly, we have the last step, that is the termination. So, acetylcholine is broken down by acetylcholine esterase enzyme, which was earlier present in where? Synaptic cleft. It is broken down into acetyl and choline, and the choline is reused. Okay. See here the last step, the 8th step, you can see the acetyl degradation mentioned over here. Okay, so from the acetylcholine esterase enzyme from the synaptic cleft, it will degrade the acetylcholine and it will inhibit the contraction phase. Okay, now I have this a little animated video I have brought about for you for your clear understanding. Just have a look onto it. See, the whole process that I've explained you is being shown over here in this animated video. I hope it will bring you more clarity. Now, next we have factors affecting NMJ. So the factors which affect NMJ are calcium levels, pH changes will also affect the NMJ, then we have the drugs, and lastly the temperature. So lastly, the subtopic of NMJ is disorders. The disorder which we'll be studying is myasthenia gravis. In this disorder, the autoimmune destruction of acetylcholine receptors occurs, which leads to less binding of acetylcholine to its receptors. Further, less contraction of muscles, leading to muscle weakness and fatigue. These will be the symptoms of myasthenia gravis, that is muscle weakness and fatigue, and it will improve with rest. Okay, it improves with rest. Okay, that's for the day. Thank you to all. I hope you found this topic clear and helpful. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share and comment. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.